You know, I was going to tell a story there about what's the common theme that I picked up in consultations in 2025, and as I was awaiting the Starbucks opening, I realised that's not 2025, that's been the last 4 decades, because you've been obsessed with people, and I've always been obsessed with asking questions. But let's start with me first. I've always evolved by letting go of who I am. My strategy comes from consistency of evolving and growing and having a plan. And that's what I mean when I've been talking to people for the last 4 decades. Tell me what the plan is. What's the direction you're going? And paying attention to physiology and paying attention to the story and the language. Do they bring themselves alive? And very few people, and I mean very few, in the last 4 decades have made me stop my tracks and say, wow. Because you need to be inspired by your story. Me being in Dubai now and coming back and doing London, Ireland, Scotland, and then back to Dubai, every time, sometimes when I'm telling my story to people, I become emotional because it's future past, I'm in the future. But I've always had this ability to tell people the now to the future and never pay attention to the past, and I mean never. Only if I recall stories, but I don't live there. So being present, coming at a present and then going, and I've always had these lanes in 1, 3, 5, 10 year chunks. And that's what I'm asking you to do from this day forward. Consistently let go of your story. Never come into a car park and park in the same space. Never go into Starbucks and sit in the same seat. Never replay the same story in your head. Scramble the language, find new language, and model and mirror the people who do what you want to do, and then ask yourself what's beyond that and start to really excite yourself in terms of what you want for life. I've got coaches, and the people that I develop, it's my job to put different movies, different voices into your head based upon what you want, because then it's where the unconscious will grow it like a seed. But because then you have to give up what you know, because you become associated through sensory language to what I put in. But then you know that the story that you're telling yourself ain't going to take you to that ultimate goal that's vibrating in frequency and sometimes making you emotional. And that's what I'm going to ask you right now. As you sit here and think of 2026, do you become emotional across every area of your life when you see what you could do by the end of 2026? And if you're not, you're then living in the wrong program. And that's what I do. I take all the stuff and declutter your mind to the things that are serving you no purpose, and I put new things in. And then we start to really connect you to who you can really, really become. My job is, I believe in every human being on the planet, and I believe that we all have a contribution to make. And I sincerely mean that. And that's why I've studied 4 decades of development and neurology and how this functions. It's like a Formula 1 car. If we took all the components off and we laid them in the ground and we put them back into this Formula 1 car, that's what I do with human beings. I'm showing you each piece of your anatomy of how it functions for you to get that spark within that leads you to the future that you know you want. It's your belief, your limitation, your ego, the limbic brain. Let's go to the frontal cortex and start visualising the future that we want by consistently evolving and growing, but you have to give up what you know and who you are. Hope that helps.